In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I got into UX design in the fintech industry as a sociology graduate. On my channel, I'm always here to encourage you as sociology students and graduates that you can do whatever you want to do as a career, which is why I'm sharing my story. So I'll be using this question from a lovely subscriber to guide this video. So let's get into it. So firstly, how did I become a UX designer in fintech? If you don't know, UX design stands for user experience design, and this is anywhere from websites, billboards, apps. So if you see something that's digital, it's probably designed by UX designer. Fintech stands for financial technology, which is self-explanatory. So things like banking apps, online checkouts, all that sort of thing. I studied sociology at uni, and this is kind of an unusual path, but since UX is such a new profession in the grand scheme of things, most people have varying experiences and journeys of how they got there. So don't worry if you didn't go to design school, because I certainly didn't. So if you're wondering how to get into UX, hopefully my journey is useful for you. So how did I find out about this job in fintech that I'm currently interning in? So I don't actually remember, which is kind of a bad answer to this, but I distinctly remember applying to it last summer, so summer of 2020, whilst I was still at university. So I didn't get the job, but this year in summer, so summer 2021, I actually got an email saying like, oh, you applied last year, why don't you apply again or share it with someone? So I applied and I'm here now. It was actually a marketing internship, but I was open about the fact that I at that point already knew I wanted to get into UX, so I made it very clear and I was very open about that, and luckily they were really receptive and supportive and let me kind of split my time between marketing and design. So now I'm mostly doing design stuff, but I still help out with marketing. Another question was, what garnered your interest in even contemplating a job or position within the field, i.e. fintech/UX? I honestly never thought that I'd end up in the fintech industry because, you know, being a sociology student, learning about like how exploitative capitalism is and all that fun stuff, and obviously the financial industry is pretty big in that. But when I look at the individual company and their mission, I feel like this is one that helps small businesses, makes payments more accessible and all that. So I think you really need to evaluate if the company aligns with your morals and your values, because ultimately we can only change things from the inside out, because unfortunately capitalism is the only viable economic model at the moment. So what can we do? We need to change it from the inside out. And how did I find out about UX? I was actually scrolling through Instagram and I saw this like daily UI thing. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, is this how apps are made? So I went on a big like rabbit hole of research and I found out about UX design. And I said, actually, this kind of combines all my skills into one. You know, my previous experience doing RA level and also marketing and sociology, understanding people and society. So I was like, let's give this a go and see where it goes. You know, like I'm not going to be gutted if this doesn't end up going how I want it to go, but it's all part of the experience. So you got to start somewhere to go somewhere. Like I said in this video, we talked about how to get a job as a sociology student/graduate. So what steps did I take to find a job in this field? So of course I did all the usual stuff. LinkedIn, I signed up to this website called Graduate Recruitment Bureau. I also really recommend otter.com. I talk more about this in this video, the careers video. So check out this one if you're interested in how specifically I would recommend for searching for a job. I actively looked for courses. I actively sought out material and education because I was wondering whether I should do bootcamp or should I just go the internship route. I eventually decided that going the internship route would be more beneficial to me because I was done with education. I wanted to get into the real world, start making some real money, you know. Unfortunately, we need that to survive in the system. And I think now being in an internship doing UX design, I think that was the right decision for me personally. So what do I actually do as a UX designer in fintech? So the company I work for at the moment is making payments really easy, as well as online checkout being really fast and speedy. So in my role specifically, I design parts of our apps, and I'm currently working on our merchant portal for those merchants and online shops who choose to use our service and integrate our checkout. So let me go through a typical day with you. I also did a day in my life video that you can check out on my channel. Typically, I start work at 9. We have daily stand-up at 10, which is where we share our tasks for the day because we work remotely. So we want to keep in touch, catch up. And then I usually have some meetings, you know, catch-ups with product people or my line manager, you know, feedback, brainstorming ideas, handing over to engineering, all that fun stuff. Actually, like you do have a lot more meetings than you think you do. And then hopefully I will have some time to focus on designing. You know, like focus time on design is very precious. So I try to time block that into my day. Here are some pros and cons of being a UX designer that is specific to my role as a UX intern at my startup. So bear in mind, this is just my own experiences, but I thought I'd share just, if you're trying to make a decision for yourself. The best 3 things is that 1, I get lots of experience that I would have never have gotten if I went like a bootcamp route or master's route, even though that is also very good to have that sort of education on your CV. But for me, I just decided it wasn't worth, paying that much money for an extra year in education when I could actually be gaining practical skills. 2, working with lots of different people. In a startup, we're like a small company, and I think it's really nice. You get to know people and you get to chat one-on-one with people, as opposed to like a really big company where you probably get a bit lost. Number 3, I just love learning, making mistakes, having fun with it. It's all part of the journey, and especially when you're an intern, you're allowed to make mistakes. Like, trust me, like I couldn't explain something technical yesterday when I was taking a new person in a company through one of my designs, and I was like, oh no, what is this technical term? But thankfully the CEO was there to like save me and explain. The worst 3 things I can think of is sometimes there's quiet weeks, because naturally you create, you design, you release products, and then sometimes there's quiet weeks when there's not too much to do and you're just kind of there tweaking and iterating on stuff, which is fun. But definitely for me, my current favorite part of the process is brainstorming and coming up with those ideas and getting those first ideas out onto the page. So iterating can get a bit draggy for me, but at the end of the day, it's really rewarding to see your final product. Definitely another con is remote working. It can get a bit boring and unmotivating. And I do wish that we had an office to go into at some point, but it's also great to roll out of bed at like 8:30 and start work by 9. You don't have to commute. My commute is from my bed over there to here, with maybe a stopover at the kitchen downstairs. So that's great. Thirdly, as an intern at a startup, not everyone has lots of time for you. Everyone is obviously very busy. So you can't expect that people will hold your hand. And, when I have questions, I will obviously ask, but most of the times I will turn to like Google or do my own research first to make sure I'm not like taking up people's time, and I can come to them with my own thoughts already, instead of just asking them with like no idea and expecting them to guide me. So if you want to become a UX designer as a sociology student, or just interested in UX design, check out this playlist here, and definitely let me know if you have any questions below. But with all that said, I will see you in the next video. Bye.